What's up, guys? Luca here. Luca Tio. Yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario, the Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here with another episode of the show. It is just I today because well, I have not talked to Nautical in a couple weeks. And Slomo's busy. I don't know where Singer is. I'm just assuming he's busy or maybe he forgot since we didn't have the show last week. But what's up, guys? How are y'all doing? For people who are showing up, hope everybody is doing well and hope everyone's been doing well over the last 2 weeks. Happy 4th of July. Hashtag America. You know what I'm saying? And what else has happened? I just got back from California last week, last Sunday actually, and it was great. I had a really good time. I quite enjoy my time in California whenever I go. Well, it depends on what area of California I go, right? But I went to go see my mom, and I also went for a Melanie Martinez concert, and it was absolutely amazing. I chose the wrong seats though. I chose floor seats when I should have chosen the stadium seats because I am short. I'm very, very short. So it started off okay, and then ended up being a big problem. So. But anyway, regardless of that, moving on from that, I I've missed you guys. I hope you guys have been doing well. I am doing good too. I'm just taking this picture of Miss Pierce here, and we're gonna go ahead and discuss some of the vast amount of negativity that has sprung up in the face of her comments towards, I believe it was Alex that she was responding to, or maybe he was responding to her. Man, I don't know. But it became like this huge thing in which she quote retweeted Alex, I believe, and it turned into like this just like honestly speaking, like I feel like I feel like folks were taking what she was saying as like she was making it up, you know what I'm saying? And then if you actually look at the rest of the thread, it turns out she was not just making that up for shits and giggles. It turns out it is a Microsoft inclusive design document. And I will be honest here, there are some of these where I feel like I am missing something. Like I feel like there are some larger context that is that I am missing in regards to this this Microsoft chart, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and look at it together and we're gonna discuss it together. So what's up, OA OA3 Heartbeat? What's up, Meat Puppet, Blade X, Party Up, Curtis, Arcade? Yeah, so Alana's had this conversation about, let me just go ahead and tweet the show out. She offers her perspective on disabilities and accessibility and everything that goes into those kinds of conversations. So let me go ahead and tweet this out. Okay. Live discussing. And then we're also going to we're also going to talk about the Dr. Disrespect situation, since we ended up getting an answer, a clarification on the rumors surrounding him. It's like a couple days after the show was over, maybe like a day or two after the show was done. And I must admit, I feel like I was definitely. I'm not I would say that when it comes to me in these conversations, I try my best to be objective and just wait for more information to come out before condemning someone one way or another. Again, his comments were weird. The whole like no wrongdoing was admitted. I don't know what kind of NDA exists that says that you can't say like, hey, I was not actually talking to a kid if you weren't talking to a kid, but that's just me. So anyway, we will also be discussing that. But the first thing we're going to discuss is this Alanah Pearce situation. So it's been dry in terms of news, but that's okay. That's all right. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Okay, so the situational disability topic via Alanah Pearce, right? Okay, so I actually I sat down and I watched Alana's 18-minute video on the conversation. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like she did a lot of rambling throughout the video, and then there was like one section of the video where she fully addressed the concept of situational disability, temporary disability, permanent disability, etc. Right, and then she brought up the comment that she had made on Twitter beforehand, or maybe she made the video first. You know what? It may be that she made the video first, and then people saw the video, responded to the video, and then people have been getting on her ass about it, and then she provided further clarification by stating like, "Hey, actually, this is what I meant." I don't know. I don't know the sequence and the order of things at all because I'm very, the energy she had in the video makes me feel like she initially was just making that video on her for herself and for her supporters, of course, and then people saw it and, it turned into this a way bigger thing than she initially intended. Because again, there was a lot of, rambling on her part, which is okay. That's perfectly fine, but I learned a lot about her, like, apparently something PowerPoints in Australia, it is not the same thing, I learned that. She's got, like, tendinitis in her hands, and also, she does not think that Elden Ring needs an easy mode. She did not advocate for that, and there are a lot of people who were stating that that is what she wanted. That's where she's like, "I want an easy mode, get good," and people are saying to her, like, "Oh, get good," or, "Why is she advocating for an easy mode?" And I think a big issue is that a lot of the time when it comes to these conversations, conflate accessibility with, easy modes, right? And it's not just like an out of nowhere sort of thing because there have been people who have conflated accessibility and easy modes together, right? Where there are people who had directly advocated for having an easy mode and then said because of accessibility, because disabled people should play the game as well or should have the ability to play the game as well, that kind of thing, right? So when the conversation about like accessibility, especially in context in regards to from software titles, because that seems to often be the case when people bring up easy modes or accessibility, it's often in regards to from software titles and how they don't have an easy mode for their games, right? And I doubt they ever will, just based on how Miyazaki-san has spoken about his thoughts on easy mode and his thoughts when it comes to like player progression and that sense of accomplishments that one receives when they're able to, beat bosses or get through areas, you know what I'm saying? So I honestly don't even like just the easy mode conversation in general. It doesn't even need to be a conversation anymore at all because From Software is just not going to do it. Like I don't even know. People keep bringing it up, and it's just like, well, it's just not going to happen. And if there is a case where they come out with a game and it does happen, then it does happen. It is what it is. But as it stands right now, they've had multiple titles in which people have been begging for an easy mode because they can't get through the game for some reason, and it just hasn't happened yet. So it feels like a moot point, and I feel like people should just move on from it, right? And so that's not what she was saying when she was making that video. She was talking about uh, actual accessibility, actual disabilities, actual like actually making changes that would be beneficial for people who have a classified disability. And so the issue is, and it's not even an issue with her in itself, it's more so when she was using these examples of what a, situational disability is, right? People took issue with it because when it comes to the term disability, especially in American society and culture, being considered disabled is, I mean, I'm not even, like, trying to say it negatively. I'm saying more so this is just the way that society tends to view the disabled, and it's not good. It's not seen as positively, right? Just take for instance cashiers not being allowed to sit down during their 8-hour work shift, people find issue with that concept, or there's that concept of, oh, I worked 60-hour shifts and and I'm just like, that's not a good thing, like, at all, and people, especially there's like this capitalistic we are a very capitalistic society, American culture that is, very capitalistic society, and this concept of not working as hard or not making the same sacrifices as your elders have made in terms of the company benefit is considered like super negative, right? So, you know, people who have disabilities, unfortunately, again, they are not well accommodated in American society and they are looked down on, you know? So when people hear the word disability, they automatically and immediately have a negative connotation there. So Alana says having a kid can be a quotation marks situational disability. So she's specifically talking about having a child, right? Where accessibility is concerned. If you need to pause a game because your kid is running around your living room, but you can't, you'll have trouble playing games with no pause menu. Here's a bunch of info about it for anyone who's genuinely interested. And no, I'm not trying to rage bait, right? And Dell Walker, who I believe is a developer, said it's literally in the Microsoft Inclusive Design document as a situational disability example, right? So here are the disabilities, right? I actually looked into this a little bit, and my confusion stemmed a little bit from the fact that some websites were conflating temporary and situational together, like they were putting them together. So I was just like, man, okay, I don't know what's going on with that, but whatever, right? So a permanent disability is if you're missing an arm, you're blind, you're deaf. And then temporary disability is if you like broke your arm, you got some cataracts, ear infection, right? And then situational disability is the new parent, distracted driver, or a bartender. So bartender, you can't hear properly, therefore not being able to hear will affect your job. Baby, I don't fucking know. So like, I don't fucking know. Because again, I looked at these and I was like, even though I understand that this is not something that this is not something like okay, so I'm just reading more into that, right? Yeah. Man, I don't know. I just don't know where it's like I understand this concept, right? But at the same time, when it comes to this idea of conflating like having a child and the child needing your attention and you having to like pause your game and you can't pause the game because Elden Ring doesn't have a pause button, example, etc., etc. Unfortunately, when it comes to that kind of concept and idea, people are not going to vibe with it very well because again, unfortunately, having a disability or being seen as disabled is negative in American society. So when people hear this idea of you saying that having to stop a game or to watch over your child, to pay attention to your kid is considered a situational disability, then there are folks who, of course, get upset about that because having a child, you know, children are considered are um, in theory, having a child and children in general are considered precious, right? So it's like we have a fundamental responsibility as adults, in my opinion, to look out for children. They are tiny human beings who are not as aware as we are as adults, right? And as a parent, especially a new parent, like you have a newborn, right? There is this negative connotation with applying disabled to anything relating to someone's having to take care of their kids. Now, I'm not saying that that was it's like people are fundamentally misunderstanding what she was saying in the sense that this is not just something that she made up. This came from Microsoft, and it wasn't just Microsoft. Again, that chart they're using, don't know where the fuck they got that chart from because again, when it comes to situational and temporary disabilities, they are like fucking. There seems to be like a cross between them because as I look at different websites, some things that are noted in the situational disability are also noted in temporary disability or vice versa. So for me, there's this website I'm looking at. It says that a situational disability was having a broken limb, but in the chart that Microsoft used, it says that having a broken arm is a temporary disability. So I'm just like, where did Microsoft get this chart from? Like, what am I missing here? Right. But anyway, I also work in the tech field. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. So I've not seen this, but I'm not making apps. I'm assuming that this chart is for the folks who are making applications. You know what I'm saying? And not just, and I guess developers, the folks who are making applications, and I guess developers who focus on accessibility. I know that Alanah worked on the God of War accessibility stuff, and there's a lot of people who noted some issues that they had with God of War in terms of the game cheating and like treating them like they're fucking idiots. Um, there's like a little bit too much of an ease of access when it comes to God of War, in which the game wouldn't really allow you to use your fucking brain. It would point things out for you immediately. I played God of War Ragnarok, and I beat it. I love the game. It's fantastic, but it's definitely not one of those you really got to sit down and use your fucking brain. It's just a good story, in my opinion. So, but yeah. So again, I'm assuming that like this chart is for applications, and then for people who are making games, I guess, right? So people got on Alana's ass about it, and I've been seeing a lot of back and forth about it, and I've been seeing a lot of people like completely uh misinterpreting what she said, misunderstanding what she said, or just not knowing what the fuck that she said, right? Because I went and again, I listened to her video. She had a lot of rambling. I learned some random facts about her, right? But I listened to her video and she touched on it. And then at the very end of the video, she said Elden Ring does not need a easy mode. You just need to pay more attention and use the resources that are available in game to you in order to achieve, just go through the game and beat it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't say the game needed an easy mode. And then she clarified, and she even said that I didn't even say the game needed a pause button, right? Where she's like, I'm not even asking for a pause button. I'm just explaining how accessibility options are way broader than people think. The removed context was that accessibility isn't just about making games easier. It applies to everyone in a really broad variety of ways. So the entire conversation, in my opinion, I thought it was pretty dumb. I'm not gonna lie. Dumb in the sense that it's like she was saying a very specific thing, and don't get me wrong, she was fucking rambling in her video, right? But she was saying a very specific thing, and the point that she was making is that when it comes to the fucking classifications that are used in this industry, apparently, and at Microsoft, right? Um, having to look after your kid and being distracted from the game because you have to look over after your kid is considered a situational disability. And even though it is an official classification at Microsoft, just because it's an official classification at Microsoft doesn't mean that I don't think it's stupid. It sounds pretty fucking dumb, dude. I'm not gonna fucking lie. And that's just because like, and I don't even have kids. I have a nephew, right? I watch over my nephew. When I'm watching over my nephew, I'm not on my phone. I'm not fucking around. I'm paying attention to my nephew because I have a fundamental responsibility to watch my nephew, right? If you have young children running about, I fucking hate to say it, unless it is your job to play video games, like that is your job to play video games, where it's the only situation where I'm just like, yeah, okay, your kid interrupting you, definitely, right? I definitely think that's a cause of concern there. But it's like if you have young children, you should be watching your fucking kids, okay? And it's like if it's so difficult for you to fucking pause your not even pause your game because you can't pause your fucking game, but turn your fucking game off so you watch your kid, then I don't know, it just sounds crazy to me, you know? And again, I'm not blaming her. I'm not saying that she made this up. She's clearly using something that is considered an industry standard when it comes to accessibility, right? I'm just saying that for me, just hearing it, it sounds fucking stupid on Microsoft's part. And again, that's why I was just like, where did they get this fucking chart from? Like, did they make it up in house using things that they learned about situational and temporary disabilities? You know what I'm saying? And as someone, I have a disability. Technically, it is classified as a disability, right? And I have one. But mine is like, it's not a physical disability. So for me, I think about people with physical disabilities, and it makes me wonder. I wonder, like, because I don't want to speak for people who have like long-term physical disabilities or anything like that, or even like a short-term physical disability or slash temporary slash situational, right? In which you have a broken limb, right? Or cataracts, I guess. Like, I don't cataracts have to be removed? Is that more? It's like more so long term, right? Unless you have them removed. I don't know anything about that shit either, right? But yeah, I'm just like over here, like, man, you're just never gonna get a positive reception when you equate having to stop playing a game to watch after your kid as a just because there is such a negative connotation in the States when it comes to somebody having a disability. But again, I do think that people deliberately misinterpreted what she was saying, slash just didn't bother to actually listen to what she was saying because they didn't care to listen to what she was saying because it's easier to make content by saying, "Oh, this dumb broad says that we need the easy mode. She's so dumb." That's basically the kind of commentary that I was seeing in response to her post and to her video, is that people not fucking watching the video or actually reading what she was saying. And further, people take, I don't know, for me, I try to get further context when it comes to things because I'm trying to understand what the fuck I'm reading, or I try to understand the point that someone is making. And so I look through the thread typically. I'm like, perhaps they provide further clarification and they're not just like spewing bullshit, right? And oftentimes, oftentimes I found that they are just spewing bullshit. Like the further clarification just makes people look dumber, in my opinion. But in some cases, in certain cases, that is actually not the case. She is referencing a chart that Microsoft uses in themselves. So, that's my take on the whole situational disability conversation when it comes to Alanah Pearce. I really think that people definitely took that shit and ran with it because there's nothing else to fucking talk about. And it was just like, again, conflating multiple issues in which we had like this long form fucking discussion for like a week and a half, in which there were people, disability advocates, people who were disabled, advocating for the concept of having an easy mode in these FromSoft games. In order, I don't even know. Just for, I don't know. Because like, there are so many things that make these games fucking hard, and it's not as simple as the boss hitting you hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the concept of having to use the runes or souls to level up. It's the long areas, the long times. I mean, more so in like Demon Souls, where you get Demon Souls and Bloodborne, where you would get like one lantern or one checkpoint, and it's at the very fucking beginning of the level. And so you got to like memorize the fucking level. Or Dark Souls, where you would go long stretches of time without a bonfire because you also, and the areas would interconnect, so you would also have to fucking memorize and learn that level. More so Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne had a very interconnected maps for the most part. Bloodborne was more segmented, but there were sections of the game where it had a more interconnected map, right? So you would have to fucking memorize and learn the map and figure out how to fuck you were getting from point A to point B, right? And then you would also have to deal with whatever challenges came your way. And some of the enemies, it's not a matter of them hitting you hard. It's a matter of you not being able to fucking figure out what the fuck they're doing next, because they'll do something like a random ass grab move where you can't fucking dodge that. Like, having an easy mode is not going to stop your ass from getting grabbed if you don't dodge properly. You know what I'm saying? You're still going to get grabbed. There are certain enemies in these games that will insta fucking kill you. Like the new, I don't know what they're called in this DLC. There are new creatures that are like the Winter Lanterns from Bloodborne, in which if they see your ass, it's fucking GG. You know what I'm saying? You're dead. You're gone. So, like, an easy mode is not going to stop your ass from fucking dying from frenzy. You're dying from, um, what the hell was it called in Bloodborne? Was it also called frenzy in Bloodborne? I can't remember, but whatever it was called in Bloodborne, I think it was also frenzy. Um, or maybe not. I don't remember. But whatever the Winter Lanterns, when they la 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 la, when they were done fucking singing and they saw your ass, and you know what I'm saying? Like, an easy mode is not gonna stop that shit. And then, like I said, it's also just learning boss patterns. You can out DPS certain bosses. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you figure out the right kind of setup, you can out DPS a boss without ever learning their setup, right? Or learning their patterns or anything like that. But when it comes to like these games, there's more so than just having a difficulty slider. Sekiro, especially Sekiro, you actually need to fucking learn the patterns. Like, difficulty mode is not gonna fucking help you in a game like Sekiro, where deflecting is the main form of getting your fucking attacks in. You gotta learn those. Man, you gotta Man, dodging is not the move in Sekiro, it's deflecting, so you actually gotta learn those patterns, so you can't like, a difficulty slider is not gonna stop your ass from getting fucking wombo combo, dude, it's just not. Or dealing with a three-phase boss fight, like fucking I mean, technically Ishin is a four-phase boss fight technically, right? Because you gotta fight, Genichiro, and and then you fight Ishin 3 times. The fucking from software, fuck you. Or Frida. I think Frida was like a three-phase boss fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like difficulty mode is not gonna help you with bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying, man? But that's not what she was saying. She was not advocating for a difficulty mode. She was talking about accessibility, and again, it's because people had like conflated accessibility with an easy mode at the fucking very when this goddamn game came out, and a bunch of fucking casuals, which there's nothing wrong with new people playing the game. I'm all for it, right? But fucking bunch of fucking casuals came through and they didn't realize that Miyazaki-san likes to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these bosses in Elden Ring, they had me scratching my head. Like the boss design in Elden Ring, I definitely think, in my opinion, Melania, the fact that she was able to cause Scarlet Rot and get her health back, that's fucking bullshit, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I will never get over that, right? But Malekith's my favorite, and I think Malekith being able to drain your health also bullshit. But like I like Malekith's boss fight, so I was able to get through that. It wasn't like I beat the game, right? So it's not even a problem. But some of their boss design, I really think that the issue with FromSoft, I'm going on a fucking tangent myself, is that they have to find different ways to challenge their long term fan base because the way that the bosses have evolved since Demon Souls is actually astounding. Like the Demon Souls final boss fights are all of them. Well, the majority of them were very gimmicky, right? Like they were gimmick based boss fights, and it was like FromSoft still trying to find their footing in that. And then Dark Souls, had more bosses that were pattern based. I especially think of the Dark Souls DLC with Artorias, fucking phenomenal boss fight, I would say. And then like Dark Souls 2, ask me if I remember anything about that game. I don't. I'm not gonna hold you. Like me and Dark Souls 2, it's kind of like whatever for me. But like Dark Souls 3, I would have to say like I spent the most time in Dark Souls 3, and I think Dark Souls 3 probably has the best bosses for me, other than in Sekiro. I would say Dark Souls 3 has the best bosses for me. I also I like the bosses in Bloodborne a lot too, but definitely Dark Souls 3 and then Sekiro and then Bloodborne. And then there's fucking Elden Ring, which a lot of the bosses just had me scratching my head because it was just like, what's going on? So difficulty when it comes to these games is so difficult to even have a conversation about. Like it's just so much more than just a difficulty slider, and that is just not what Alanah was talking about, dude. She was not even advocating for an easy mode. She was talking about this damn disabilities conversation, and people don't like hearing the concept of their children being considered a disability, honestly speaking. So that's what it really comes down to. But oh yeah, I gotta catch up on Demon Slayer, right? Yeah, I heard the Dark Souls 2 DLC. Did I beat it? No, I didn't beat the DLC, man. I don't even know. There was like a fucking tiger, like a white tiger or something. Or maybe it wasn't a tiger. There was a snowy area, and I was getting cucked by some kind of creature in the snowy area, bro. I didn't beat that fucking DLC, so um yeah, dude, she wasn't even asking for a pause button in Elden Ring. She wasn't asking for a pause button in Elden Ring. She was like, because she had said, what did she say? She said, she said, I'm not even asking for a pause button. I'm just explaining how the accessibility options are way broader than people will think. So I think she used the pause button as like an example, right? But that's not what it's not what she's asking for. She's using it as an example or some shit like that, dude. So yeah, she definitely got verbally accosted, bro. Like people were definitely making videos on her. They are just like on her ass about it, dude. And I'm like, honestly speaking, sucks to suck, man. She's better than me. Me personally, I would have told people I can't believe I mean, I could believe it. Honestly, a lot of it comes down to this. on one hand, she definitely should have. I mean, she got a lot of views off of the video she made, so maybe that's just what it is. That's what it's about for her, right? But secondly, I would definitely be on. I would listen, but she can't because she also works in the industry. So it's not like she. I mean, in theory, she should not be able and should not be cursing folks out. Like, I definitely think there's a lack of professionalism in general when it comes to the gaming space, right? But at the same time, if I was her and people were fucking deliberately misinterpreting what the fuck I was saying, I would be heated. But at the same time, she had to have known that what the fuck she was saying was gonna piss people off. Like, she had to know that. So, she's all right, man. She's cool. Like, she'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, she'll be all right. Like, people they'll let it go, or they won't let it go. Kinda whatever, regardless, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely think that people were just they were not listening to what the fuck this chick was saying at all, dude. They were, she was rambling, but she was saying something. So, Kaiju 8, yeah, okay. Yeah, Souls games, in any opinion, hot take to sweaty fans. That's facts, dude. I'm not gonna say Dark Souls 2 is garbage. I think what is it? That system you have in Elden Ring where you can power stance, that's from Dark Souls 2. That's really good. I didn't do any PvP, but I hear the PvP in Dark Souls 2 was also very good. So I would say this: the bosses in Dark Souls 2 are dog shit, in my opinion. Base game Dark Souls 2, fucking dog shit. But that's just my opinion, man. I like the areas in Dark Souls 2, I guess. Ask me to I can think of like one area really, other than the snow area, which I think is in the DLC. Maybe 2 areas? Like there's a watery area where you fight that fucking frog, and then, there's, like, a castle area where you fight that tower mirror guy. Oh, bro, Dark Souls 2, bro, like, I don't know, that shit is trash, bro, like, I'm sorry, like, it's not trash, but it's kinda trash, bro, I'm sorry, like, um Oh, what's up, Alex? See here. Where's my panel? Bro, I don't have a fucking panel, dude. Um Let's see here. Oh, Alex says, I pulled up the Microsoft document she pointed to, and it calls them situational impairment. However, her video was all over the place and the example was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I do agree with that. She definitely went on some tangents. Impairments? An impairment is fucking difficult from a disability. All right. And this is what I was saying. I was like, where did Microsoft get this fucking chart from? You know? And, but I'm looking at the picture. Hold on. I'm looking at the picture. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't even say disability. It just says permanent, temporary, and situational. So now, is impairment different from disability? Like dictionary definition wise, impairment definition. Let's look at some fucking synonyms. Synonyms. Impair. Okay. Synonym. Um, I mean, technically, a strong match from thesaurus.com says that for impairment, disability comes under as a strong match for impairment. So perhaps, I just think I think it's dumb personally. I think it's a dumb. I think it's dumb. Like, I understand that it's like an official fucking classification, but it's fucking stupid in my opinion. I just don't, no one is going to feel good about you fucking comparing their kid to or having kids to a disability or having the responsibility of having kids to a disability. It's just, I understand that it is a Microsoft thing, but it doesn't sound good, man. It doesn't sound right. So anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, the companies are deep into DEI. That's true. I agree. All inconveniences are now a disability. Yep. Spam on. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I really do feel like, bro, I fucking hate to say this. As someone, I don't know, man. There's just a lot of stuff that I'm just like not really a fan of. I don't, it's just There's a lot of stuff I don't like, guys. So yeah, I know. I know Miyazaki-san didn't do it technically. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. It's kind of whatever, you know. I think that people definitely got on her ass about it, but again, she should have provided further clarification, and she also should have known the response that she was going to garner. Like, come on, man. She's been doing this for long enough. Where again, it makes me wonder, like, what was like the outcome you expected. And I think she got a lot of really good views off of it. Like me personally, you know, again, I'd be cursing folks out myself. I'd be like, you know, fuck y'all for not understanding what I was saying, but at the same time, homegirl was rambling. So whose fault is this really? You know, it's one of those double-edged swords situations, right? People think beating a Souls boss without summons is an impairment. Do they really? Having summons makes this game so fucking easy, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna fucking lie to y'all, bro. I fucking beat Promise Consort Radon. I pulled out a big ass shield. I was like, ding ding, ding ding. Here comes my mimic. And then I did Ansbach because I wanted his armor at the end of his quest, right? But me and my mimic, I put on some occult scaling bloodfang claws on my mimic, right? And then I also had the fucking flower, so Melania's flower on the mimic, and then I switched over to a that fucking what was that sword that rapier, the rot rapier. I put that bad boy on. I brought out Morn's fucking shield, and I was like, ah! And I had oh my god, what is that fucking armor called? I can't remember this. The second heaviest armor that's in the game that you can wear. I put that bad boy on, the one with the horns, and I was like, "Let's fucking go!" And we ganked Radon, and I was just kind of like, "Bro, I feel like if you can beat this boss, like it's not, you know, like if you know, like I feel, you know, if I you can beat the fucking boss." With your mimic, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the mimic trivializes so many of these fucking bosses, dude. I'm not gonna hold you, like, so I definitely, definitely pulled out my bad boy. You know, I was like, ding ding, you know, with the fucking and I had to change my build, not all the way, but I had to change my build to the point where I was using a shield. I don't normally use a shield at this point in the game where it's like in the first playthroughs I will use a sword and shield, but in my second playthroughs I usually just two-hand my weapons and stuff like that. But I have been two-handing it like and just using like a great axe and a colossal weapons and just been like just trading damage, right? Um but, like, for this boss, I had to fucking put on a shield, dude. I was like, "Bro, let me put this damn shield on," right? And don't get me wrong, you can definitely learn Promise Consort Radon's moveset. Like, you definitely can learn that moveset because I've watched too many videos of people soloing that boss in different ways for me to be like, "Well, you like, it's too difficult," or whatever, right? But, I definitely think that, if you're struggling with a boss, you gotta change your fucking playstyle, you know? And you could either keep banging your head against the wall and try to figure it out with your current setup, but if your current setup's not working, try different things, and that's what I did. I never use that goddamn fucking rapier, and I never use a fucking shield at this point, but I was like, "Bro, let me pull my shield and fucking rapier out." Now, for fucking Mesmer, I wanted to fight Mesmer by myself. Mesmer is a very easy to learn boss, and I thought Mesmer would be the hardest boss in the DLC, but no. But yeah, Mesmer is an extremely easy to learn boss. Mesmer only has one move where I don't know if it's too difficult or if I just never figured out how to fucking dodge it properly. But he has one move where I'm just like, "What the fuck?" But he didn't pull out that move when I finally beat him. I beat Mesmer by myself without any mimic, and I had, like, level 80 occult scaling on my fucking Bloodfang claws, right? Like, I was using the colossal weapon and the axe the entire playthrough, and I switched the claws to fucking beat Mesmer, dude. Sometimes you just gotta change your build up in order to figure this shit out, man. So, it is what it is. I think that a lot of people they don't want to adapt and they don't want to change. They want to do things their way. And if they can't do things their way, then the game is considered unfair, you know? And don't get me wrong, again, there are certain moves that Radon does where I'm just like, what the fuck? But if you can beat him taking minimal damage because you got a fucking shield and you got your goddamn fucking mimic, who has your back, Like, come on, man. And I literally just watched Fighting Cowboy beat Radon, kicking him, punching him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of all right. I mean, it is what it is, you know. So, oh my god, no, I didn't beat her. It's a chick, right? Nice, very nice, Curtis. Like all of yeah. I feel like in the other games, you kind of had to. You know what I'm saying? Like the summons are very minimal in the other titles. I think they're minimal because I didn't really use them when I was playing through them. Oh fucking! I remember fucking fighting. I fought Madeir, new game +3 using a melee build, dude. I was smoking crack, dude. I was smoking crack, but I fucking did it, and I earned that goddamn sword, dude. That shit, the katana that you get from beating Madeir, like amazing. But I was definitely on some crack cocaine fighting Madeir using melee on New Game +3, dude. Like I was definitely tripping. So now people are saying even though Shadow of the Earth Tree definitely has some sections and enemies where I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? I feel like that's how I feel in every single one of Miyazaki's games, where I'm just like, there's an enemy or there's a section where I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? You know? Except for maybe I think Sekiro was the only FromSoft game where I like didn't feel that way, I would say. But all the other titles, I was just like, man, there's always a section that just pissed me off real bad and like really irritated me. And I was just like, this is such bullshit. But I got through it. You know, you always just end up, you got to adapt, okay? You got to figure shit out and adapt and just keep it moving. I think Sekiro was the game I vibed with the most when it came to like Sekiro. There's no fucking summons in Sekiro, dude. So you gotta fucking thug it out, dude. You gotta figure that shit out with Sekiro, and that's what I love about that game. Is so amazing. Definitely number 2 for me, mostly just because Bloodborne was my first one, and I love that cosmic horror shit, dude. I am such a big fan of that. So but Sekiro definitely has the best gameplay of all their games. So, yeah, so a lot of their other titles, man, like Elden Ring is fucking easy in comparison to the other titles because you have so many tools at your disposal that really trivializes a lot of these bosses, right? So again, like I beat Radon after maybe like 9 hours of me playing around and trying to figure out the fuck I was doing with him. And then I'm just like, bitch, ding ding, let me pull my mimic out. Have my mimic have this shit on. I got Ansbach here. We're gonna bleed this motherfucker. We're gonna rot him, and that's what we did. Mesmer again. I think Mesmer is the most Dark Souls boss that Elden Ring has. I would say because Mesmer's patterns are very easy to learn, in my opinion. He just has that one move where he pulls out like 4 fucking snakes at once, where it's just like, come on, dude. And they just, I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to dodge it properly. I just never learned it. So I beat Mesmer under like 20 tries, I think, solo. Um, I fucking the Beast, the Divine Beast. I beat him as well solo, and then I beat Midra solo. Unfortunately, my bitch ass fucking PlayStation does not want to allow uploads. It does not download. It will not download the majority of my videos to my app, so I haven't been able to upload that stuff. But I also have the clip of me beating the final boss. Use it, bitch. I mean, call it a cheese build if you fucking want. I got that shit done. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I really like Elden Ring. Elden Ring's definitely I think it's number 3. Yeah, I would say it's number 3, mostly in terms of Elden Ring is number 3 because of all the different builds you can have. The builds in Elden Ring are fucking phenomenal. I love them so much. Definitely, I like them. I like the builds that you can have in Elden Ring. That's my favorite aspect of the game. Is it a game? Elden Ring is just so vast where I'm just kind of like, and there's like, again, I really like Moog. I really like Moog, and I really like Malekith. But all those other fights are kind of like okay, you know, they're fine. Like they're not like super memorable in the sense that I was like, I'm excited to fight them again. Like with Lothric and Lorien from Dark Souls 3 is my favorite boss fight. and I will happily fight them over and over and over and over again. That is it is a phenomenal boss fight. I love Lothric and Lorien. I even like fighting Aldrich, you know? Even though Aldrich definitely, like, has some bullshit, I feel like Aldrich you can, like, beat Aldrich, you know? Like, it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, Soul Cinder, definitely a great fight as well. Like, Dark Souls 3 has so many amazing boss fights that I actually enjoy fighting, and that's why I played that game, like, 5 times or beat it 5 times, you know what I'm saying? But, then, again, Sekiro has the best boss fights, and in Bloodborne, I really like, Amelia, and then Lawrence the First Vicar is my favorite boss fight on New Game. Lawrence on New Game Plus I definitely was understanding what people were saying when they said that Lawrence on New Game Plus was extremely difficult, because on New Game, Lawrence is like a fucking cakewalk, right? But on New Game Plus, I was like, "Yo, like, he's beating my fucking ass," right? And, like, there's been nothing in Elden Ring that has given me the same experience as fighting Ludwig for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And Ludwig being like, "Oh, my guiding moonlight," and pulling out the moonlight greatsword, like, it's pretty fucking awesome, dude. There's nothing in Elden Ring that really gave me that, like, that same kind of feeling. Again, I really like Malekith, and I really like Moog, but, I know people really like Melania, but I feel like people really like Melania because of her difficulty. Again, her being able to heal herself is fucking bullshit, but that's just me. That's just fucking me, dude. So, I really like the DLC. I definitely don't think it's like a 10 out of 10. Everybody has their own opinions, right? And that is perfectly fine. Everyone is free to feel however they want to feel. But that DLC is definitely not a 10 out of 10 for me. It's not even better than the base game in my opinion. It's still really good though. I still really like it, and I don't think the final boss is too difficult. I feel like if you can find a way to fucking beat the boss, then he's not too difficult. Like, I feel like too difficult is if you can't beat it, like, at all, where it's like, there's, like, nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's ever been any boss where I'm like, "I can't do this. There's nothing I can do to beat this boss." Except for, I think maybe Manus, but that was, like, so early on in my playthrough of these games where I can't remember. Honestly speaking, I cannot remember if I beat Manus or not. I might not have beat Manus. I think Manus was the only one where I was like, "You know what? I don't need to fucking meet this boss," and I turned it off. I stopped playing Bloodborne for a bit, and I came back and I beat Cause. Yeah, I came back and I beat him. But I remember the first time I beat him, I think it was a year later, and I was with a friend. I think we stayed up super late. I was drunk. We were both drunk. I stayed up super late. We were drunk, and I beat the Orphan of Cause with him. And then I came back later again, and I beat Orphan of Cause by myself. So I think the only boss I've ever I can't ask me if I remember any Dark Souls 2 bosses. I don't. I don't fucking remember anything about Dark Souls 2, dude. I'm sorry, but I would say for like Dark Souls, the only boss I didn't beat was Manus. Dark Souls 2, can't remember. Dark Souls 3, I beat every boss in Dark Souls 3. I beat every boss in Sekiro. I beat every boss in Elden Ring. And I beat every boss in Demon Souls remake. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Again, Shadow of the Erd Tree is pretty difficult. Those fucking skiddity bops, you know what I'm saying? Those skiddity bops fragments. Just you gotta fucking put those on, dude. Those really make the difference, you know? And as I've been co-oping and helping people beat Radon, seeing people be at a Scadutree level 8, level 9, I'm just like, "Damn, so you're just trying to lose to this boss, huh?" Like, I mean, if you got here super low, so clearly you got some skill, but goddamn, good luck, you know? And, we typically, the host will die, so, um but I don't even think this DLC, honestly speaking, I don't think this DLC is harder than Demon Souls New Game Plus cycle. Now, I need people to understand this. For anybody who has not played a New Game Plus cycle on Demon Souls, you need to understand that it is not the same as the New Game Plus cycles in any of these other games. In any of the other Souls games, New Game Plus is a fucking cakewalk, dude. It's not even a fucking problem. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still, like, really demolish everything in your way because you have everything by the end. Like, it's really not a problem. New Game Plus and Demon Souls had me really questioning whether or not I'd be able to get that platinum. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really had me second guessing myself. Um, and I was pissed, dude. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like, I was really angry. I was really angry about it. New Game Plus and Demon Souls, the scaling is extremely off. It is overtuned. A regular enemy, my health bar was the size of fucking Venus, right? And a regular enemy could fucking one shot me, bro. I was like, this is like not okay. So I had to like I have the Demon Souls Platinum. I had to fucking figure it out, bro. I had to fucking stop my bitching and figure that shit out. And I got the Platinum, but I had to use certain tools that I normally like I would not use. Like I utilize the warding spell, warding, that is like warding. And then I utilize second life. And I was like, I would switch between those two and fucking pray. And I got through it. But goddamn, I was like, I never want to do that shit again. So that Demon Souls New Game Plus cycle is extremely I had a harder time with that than I did with the DLC. There was never a point in this DLC where I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat this, guys. Like, there was never a point where I felt that way. I was like, I will beat this DLC eventually. And there was a brief moment where I was like, technically speaking, I don't need to beat Radon. I really don't. It's like the last boss, who gives a shit. Like, I'm probably not going to play this game again. But then I was like, you know what, bitch? Go beat the boss, right? And I did. I ding ding, pulled out my fucking mimic and we got shit done. You know what I'm saying? So there was never a point in this DLC where I was like, I don't think I'll be able to beat it. But Demon Souls New Game Plus cycle, I was like, bro, I don't think I can beat this shit. I did, but I definitely was like, and I remember I warned everybody. I was warning everyone about it, and people were not fucking taking me seriously, dude. Like, they thought I was like capping or something. And then they finally got to the New Game Plus cycle, and they're like, bitch, we okay. I see what you're saying. I'm like, bro, I wasn't fucking lying to you. Like, I was dead ass, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Anyway, people don't like Alanah Pearce for some reason. I don't have any feelings towards her one way or another, like positively or negatively. I think that she's just, somebody in the industry. And yeah, shout out to Black Metal with a super chat. Appreciate you, my guy, saying absolutely nothing. So, would you rather have the next game be Elden Ring 2 or Dark Souls 4? Elden Ring 2. The lore in Dark Souls 3, they were definitely struggling by that end, dude. Like, they were fucking struggling to make that shit make sense. Now, don't get me wrong, there are parts in Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, the lore doesn't make any fucking sense, and I don't give a fuck what any of these goddamn dick writers for Miyazaki are saying. That shit doesn't make any sense, okay? Like, I'm sorry, but it just fucking doesn't. There is no mention of Radon and Mikola together in the fucking base game. Okay, so that shit came out of left fucking field. All right, and people are all like, "Well, actually, no, no." Like, I don't get me wrong, I like it because I think it's extremely fucked up, right? But like, it just was so fucking random, dude. I was just like, I really think they just wanted people to fight Radon again because they love Radon, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. So, but yeah, okay. So then let's talk about Doctor Disrespect. So it's like fucking over for Doctor Disrespect, honestly speaking. He came out and I did a video about this, so you guys check out the video. But he came out. Honestly speaking, I'll be real with you guys. I think that the reason why he came out and he admitted and acknowledged what he did, right, is because what's going to come out is going to be significantly fucking worse than what we actually believe. You know what I'm saying? So initially he came out and he said no wrongdoing was acknowledged, right? And I remember I was like, that's kind of like that is a really weird way to put it. You know what I'm saying? It's there's no fucking as Mudahar says, which I watched his video on this. He said that there's no NDA in the world that says that you cannot acknowledge whether or not you were fucking sexting with a minor. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just nothing out there that says that. So, you know, eventually, Dr. Disrespect, he came out and he admitted, he was like, there were inappropriate messages sent back and forth between me and a minor. The fucking, the cucks over the cucks, the anti woke cucks, were doing double time, either trying to defend him or just not mentioning this at all. But let fucking Doctor Disrespect be a fucking member of the LGBTQ, and then suddenly everybody, all those anti woke motherfuckers, would have been on his ass, calling him a predator. But nope, because he's a straight guy. There's just they just nothing. Just no comments from them, which of course, there's no comment for them. They don't actually care about kids. So, but homeboy came out. He's like, yeah, I was sending inappropriate messages to a minor, but like, I'm not a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly speaking, depending on the age range of the minor he was messaging, because minor has a very, that's a broad range. He might not be a pedophile. He could be a phebophile. You know what I'm saying? Ephebophiles, that's 15 to 19. That's the age range there. So if you're attracted to 15 to 19-year-olds, you are considered an ephebophile, I believe. If you are over a certain age, of course, right? Like, obviously, if you're the same fucking age, that's not a problem. But yeah, so he could be an ephebophile and not a pedophile. Who knows, man? Who fucking knows? We don't know because we don't know the age of the minor that he was texting, but he was in his mid-30s texting a fucking minor. So people think it's a 17-year-old. I honestly think it's younger because I feel like if the minor was 17, he would have said 17 because there are people who are more willing to forget, quote unquote, forgive. Like, oh, it's 17, that's close to 18, it's not a big of a deal. Like, they're more willing to forgive you as an old ass man texting a 17-year-old versus you as an old as dust man texting a 14-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Texting a 15-year-old. So I think the minor that he was sexting with and planning to meet up with was younger than 17. Even younger than 16, dude. I think like between the 14 to 15 range, and how, like, if it's I think 14 to 15, it could be younger. We don't know yet because we haven't seen the messages. And again, he came out, he acknowledged what he did. He admitted it. It was very strange messaging where he was like, you guys think I'm going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Bro, you're going somewhere because they fucking took his monetization from YouTube. He got dropped from multiple sponsorships. So HyperX gone. They took his character out. I think it was one of the NBA 2K games. He also lost a different sponsorship with some other group. I can't fucking remember, right? But he lost a bunch of sponsorships, lost his monetization. Where are you coming back to, Dr. Disrespect? Fucking Kick? Fucking Kick, maybe? Or you can come back to YouTube. He's just not going to be getting paid, man. So I think the reason that he admitted and acknowledged what he did is because these text messages, or these whisper messages, technically, these whisper messages, they are going to come out eventually. Now, whether it's a week from now, a month from now, or 4 years from now, like it was like when he got banned 4 years ago. And then even still, like the messages he was sending back and forth with the kid was in 2017. He didn't get banned till 2020. Eventually, these messages are going to come out, and we're gonna see some really diabolical things. Um, we're gonna see some real vile shit, man. I think, and that's why I think the only reason why you would admit to something like this and not have like plausible deniability, because there are a lot of people who are like willing to defend him, which again, I think that if someone has these kinds of allegations, you should not defend them. You should just wait for more information. You should not condemn and you should not defend. You wait for more fucking information, dude. And he admitted it for himself. And I think like the fact that he admitted it just says that shit's pretty bad. Like, he was saying some crazy shit. And like, it makes me think of when he admitted that he was cheating on his wife. And I don't know, like at first, when I remember when that came out, like that video came out, I remember watching it. And I remember thinking, I was like, he probably did this. Maybe he's getting like blackmailed or something. Like, maybe the person's like, I'm going to come out and let everybody know that you are sleeping with me and you cheated on your wife, or, you cheated on your wife, pay me money and I won't tell, and that kind of thing. That's why I thought that he did it, because I was like, it's weird to admit something like this unless there's an incentive there. And I think that, again, he has an incentive here. He had an incentive here to admit, like, hey, I was sending inappropriate messages with a minor. So, he could be a fucking ephebophile, technically not a pedophile. There's different age ranges when it comes to the files. You know what I'm saying? Now, explaining that just makes you look bad, honestly speaking. You can't realistically and reasonably explain the differences between the files without looking crazy as hell yourself, dude. I'm not gonna fucking hold you. But I'm saying, there's this other guy who said, I love 17-year-olds. I love them. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sure you do, you fucking ephebophile. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just me. So I guess that's it. Like, I have nothing else really to talk about. I can't wait for more information to come out about the Dr. Disrespect stuff. I'm very curious about it. Um, I'm very, very curious about it in the sense that I wanna know how old this person was. I wanna know. And people are like, "Why does it matter? Minor is minor." No, I understand. You know what? You say that, and I understand what you're saying, but unfortunately, minor is not fucking minor. There is a very big difference between, a 17-year-old and a fucking 12-year-old, okay? And no one is gonna tell me otherwise, in my opinion, because it just gets worse the lower in age the kid becomes, you know what I'm saying? So, dear God, they would have had to been old enough to have, social media, but still young enough to be a fucking problem. I'm going 14, 15, y'all. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Yeah. Oh, will do, Yobi, will do for sure. Yep. I think he initially didn't actually know why he was banned, and then he found out the reason he was banned later. I really do think initially he did not know. So, yeah, he's still cooked if she sent him, if she sent him pictures, he's fucking cooked, dude. Like, regardless of age, even if the age of consent, um, is younger or lower, like, I know in different regions of the states, it's like 16 is in some states, 17 is in other states. I think anyone under you're not supposed to exchange those kinds of pictures with anyone under the age of 18. I think that is a federal law there. So you're cooked regardless of the state that you're in. So if she sent him fucking pictures, or if he sent her pictures, he said that there was no pictures sent. I don't fucking know, man. Like, I don't know if I believe a word that comes out of this guy's mouth. He's a fucking liar. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, I cannot believe those anti woke fucking losers were fucking defending him, dude. Honestly speaking, like, come on, man. We gotta fucking draw the line somewhere. I understand hate it, quote unquote, I hate my enemy sort of bullshit, right? But defending someone who was admittedly messaging and sexting with a minor, like, come on, man. Like, you guys gotta start fucking being serious for one goddamn second here. So, but yeah, I'm very curious to see how the rest of this pans out. And that's all I really gotta say, guys. Like, there's, nothing else that's really been going on. I hope we get some interesting gaming news in the coming days because it's been pretty fucking boring. Yeah, he's a freaky ass nigga, dude. He's a fucking freaky frog, my guy. Oh, that's pretty weird. That's because Ren, he's sick, okay? This guy was just a sick fucking bastard, okay? There was also like these two female teachers got arrested for sleeping with their students, right? And people are like, these are good looking women, married to age appropriate men, or they can get any guy they want, right? So why would they mess with kids? And I'm just like, dude, because they're sick. It is a power dynamic. There's something fundamentally wrong with them. It has nothing to do with like the access that they do have with other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something wrong with them. Like, there's something wrong. They're sick. It is a sickness. It's a sickness, man. So um I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I think that especially at fucking 35, dude, you should have known better, man. Like, there's just no excuses for it at all. No excuses, dude. 35? Yeah, bro, he's fucking cooked. I'm glad he came out and admitted it. I'm glad we got like actual confirmation on that because I'd rather know the truth than be left in the air. So, all right, y'all, but that's it from me. I did get one channel member topic, so we'll go over that, and then I'll out my channel members, and we'll fucking skedaddle. Yeah, I had to unfollow some people because they would not fucking talk about, like, I try to listen to the perspectives of everybody just so I can get an idea of what different political groups, because that's what I'm going to call them, political groups, different people, different sides of the culture war think. But some of them, I was like, you guys are fucking, like, you don't give a shit about any of this stuff. You are fucking, like, the fact that none of them talked about what happened with Dr. Disrespect. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I see what the truth is. But shout out to Ronald, who said, what's your favorite video game weapon? Whether it's in fighting, shooting, or an RPG to use, exclude any whips or chains for Singer. If you don't have a favorite weapon, what weapon do you think is iconic in gaming history? So obviously, like the Buster Sword, from Final Fantasy, the Master Sword with Link. I can't think of any other swords in gaming history that are super iconic. Whatever sword, what's not a sword? Um, Dante's weapons from Devil May Cry. What else? Of course, Mega Man's weapon, Samus's weapon. Mm, yeah, I would say those are iconic. And then in terms of my favorite video weapon, game weapon, I love the claymore. I'm very much a sword and shield girly in my first playthrough of games. If that's an option, I will choose to be a fucking warrior. I'm fucking basic, dude. I just love big hammer, big sword, go boom. You know what I'm saying? Like I love being a strength girly when it comes to that stuff. So, but in the Souls games, it's the claymore. I love the claymore. But I do like big swords. Like that's my jam, dude, but not too big, just the right size. You know what I'm saying? Big enough. So I like melee kind of weapons. And then I'm a big fan of dexterity based weapons. So if you could like a two-hand dagger move set, like the rogue move set in Dragon Age 2, I really like the rogue move set in that game. And also Dragon Age Inquisition 2. But yeah, mostly 2 and Inquisition. I really liked it. Yeah, I think about, like, Thymesia. I like Thymesia's, I like, if I could be, like if I can't be a big sword wielder, I like being a dex wielder in terms of, like, the daggers. I like that a lot. I think that typically I think dexterity characters have more, nuanced, um, kind of gameplay style compared to strength-based characters. I do like strength-based characters the best, though. But yeah, man, like first show back after being on vacay. Um, I gotta get back into it. Let me just pull up my studio. I gotta go drink some water, man. Okay. All right. So shout out to Scroat, Mr. Dolo, Phil, Iman, Miko, Fonz, Meat Puppet, Yobi, King Metrotron, Corey, and Bandy, and Mar, Damien, Tevin, Ronald, Dealer, MJ, Dirk, Lord Renza, Kenny, DC, Big Daddy, Sub Negro, Jazzy, Dom, Duckman, Sycamore, Zion, Breeski, Light Stripe, Pepitio, Nautical Jet, Envy, Slomo, and Hannibal. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Yeah, like I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm pretty I feel like I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I feel like years ago I would definitely feel bummed and depressed. Um if I was, like, by myself for the show, but I feel okay now, you know what I'm saying? I feel I've reached this maybe it's just because 'cause I'm fucking old, dude, I really think it's that, like, I'm just too old. I'm like, "Damn, bro, like, it is what it is," you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess I'm just used to it now, so I don't know, I mean, I know I did a lot of, like, mini-sodes by myself, but that's, like, different from, like, the main show, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, especially, maybe, like, 2 years ago, I was real bummed about it, and I kinda had, like, a little I don't know, I was just real bummed about it, man. But now I just feel I'm like, "Okay, that's fine," you know? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, thank you so much. I know there wasn't too much to talk about, but I appreciate you guys hanging out regardless, you know what I'm saying? So, I am very much losing my fucking voice. My voice hurts, dude. I'm not gonna fucking hold you, man. My throat hurts. I think this is the most I've talked in quite some time. So, at least when there's more people on the show, I can take a break, my vocal cords. But, bitch, not this week. I don't know, the people who do, like, 17-hour podcasts, man, or 17-hour spaces, bro, I don't know how they do that shit, bro, like, I just don't. I need a fucking cough drop right now, dude. Okay. Alright, guys. But, yeah. I do like Korean films. I do more so like Korean TV shows. There's a lot of good TV shows. Appreciate y'all. Oh my god, thank you, Yobi. Thank you, Ronald. Appreciate that. Lionel says you're the main character of your show. I think we're all the main character of our own lives. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I will catch you guys fucking later. Later, fucking. I please, dear God, let something interesting. I feel like we have not gotten any gaming news, bro. Maybe I'm just out of touch, dude. Have we gotten any gaming news since Microsoft show? Like any real news? No, right? I don't think so. I think I'm chill. Maybe I just, ooh, baby, I'm fucking out of touch, dude. God damn. No shows? Okay. All right. Well, cool. Well, I'm gonna go play some Elden Ring. I'm gonna go help people fucking beat this last goddamn boss. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Please let something fucking happen so we can talk about it, y'all. But yeah, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me. Um, yeah, I'm definitely thinking like we got to figure out some shows to watch too. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, man. But I'll catch you guys later. Ooh, I'm looking at someone who spent. Damn, those tickets. Oh, I'd be sick to my stomach going to see a movie. This guy spent $152 at the theaters. See, the way I would not be taking my kids to the fucking movie theater, y'all. Like, I'd be like, we're gonna have to just wait for DVD, y'all. But anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Kaiju 8. Okay, I will check that out, man. All right. Yeah, no Doctor Who for me. I should. That show's always been fucking boring, in my opinion. Don't jump me. Don't jump me. All right, bye, guys.